Hello everybody, happy Friday. We are rambling. It's a short ramble today. I know, you guys are laughing. Psychic Duck is even laughing. He goes, she goes, they go, them, there. You don't do anything short on videos. On videos. Why'd you have to say that? Say hello to Psychic Duck, everybody. Hello everybody. Happy Friday. Good to see you. So what'd you think of the week? Wow, what a roller coaster. Yeah. How do you think that we humans handled it? Oh, well, you're little quackers. Yeah? Would you have handled it differently? Yeah, I would have been more in the Zen moment. In the Zen moment? Uh-huh. All right. I'm going to put you back on your Zen water glass. Thank you. I like it up here. All right. So what a week, yeah? We had, what is it? And it's amazing what happens every news day. I came on Thursday to do a mini ramble because of the Epstein stuff. It's just like, boom. But so Sunday, we had the Democrats flipping in the Senate. People are all up in a wah, 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 wah. Yeah, they were wah, 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 wah. Psychic Duck. That's why Psychic Duck said we were quackers. And then the government reopened. Grijalva. You have to say that 3 times. Thank you, Danny. 3 times. And so I clicked my heels 3 times. Grijalva, Grijalva, Grijalva. And I was able to say her name correctly. And poof, more documents came out about Pumpkinhead's involvement with Epstein. I have mixed emotions about that. I have mixed emotions about the Democrats caving. But one of the things, as I listen to Psychic Duck and go into the Zen moment, see how things move and move forward. And sometimes we just have to trust that things are coming in the right way. We keep putting out what we want to see happen, and look, it starts to happen. So the shutdown was, I'm going, well, people are not getting their food subsidies. So they're now getting that. People who had lost their jobs and who were going to be fired permanently now have their jobs back. And now they have money so that they can pay for the things that they had set up to pay, i.e. rent, mortgage, their kids, right? So in that respect, I'm like, yay, good. In other respects, like, did we get what we were going to need? And I talked about this on Thursday a little bit with the healthcare thing. So it's a mixed bag. The Jeffrey Epstein thing, that is a mixed bag for me too. On one side, I don't want to talk about this stuff. This is nasty, ugly, disgusting stuff. On the other side, it is healing for the victims. I've been involved in a little bit of bringing closure to victims. And as hard as it is to do the work of recovery, because it was, I would be doing underwater recovery for somebody who lost their life in the water. And as hard as some of that was to do that work, and luckily I never, ever was the one to find. I was part of the team though. So it's still really hard work. You still have to mentally prepare yourself what's coming, what you could find. And for me, it was don't think. Don't think about it. Just do. So there is a healing aspect to this that I am hoping and praying that comes out of this. So, I'm not going to get into it too much. And again, this is why I think this is going to be a short ramble. Because I may put something up on my other channel because I need to. In my non-political Danny Shea Journey channel. So, let's get into some of the stuff that we're looking at. I pulled 3 cards, and what I think where I want to go with this short ramble is, after these cards, is how do we talk to the Republicans who are opening their eyes and going, this is too far. We thought that it was too far. Well, they thought it was too far with the Mar-a-Lago documents case if he sold secrets and then it got lost with Eileen Cannon. That may be coming out soon. And this Epstein stuff. People are going, that's a little too far. Even though they're still going, I don't know, is it fake news? Is it real news? And we'll get into that a little bit. So that'll be kind of darkish. I hope not, but as darkish as I want to get. Let's look at the cards that I pulled before I started this reading. I do this all the time, bringing in protection, my light, my guides and angels. Just give us a direction of where we want to go. This was very interesting to me, and I don't know if this was a holdover. Over on Celtic Sheila's channel, I think she put up a video of Nancy Jean, myself, Jeffrey over at Not Ripe Color Anymore, something else, and Dr. Gale. And we were doing a grid for Nancy Jean, a world grid for 2026. And we were helping pull numbers and pulling in our energies together. Sheila said, let's just do a show. I'll put it up on my channel about the energies for the next 3 months. And the interesting thing was, I love the way that Dr. Gale she's going galactic. Sheila went politics. Jeffrey went to the Rider-Waite deck because that's what he does. He's brilliant at it. And Nancy was doing her energy grid transitions, and I did a healing deck, and Gail and I got similar decks. She did the Starseed Oracle, I did the healing deck, and we both got transitions and opening up, and that we're going to be receiving messages. And some of these messages, and how we receive these messages, is going to be unique to each of us. And I think that's what I'm going to throw on my other channel. But this is very similar to what I'm going to say right now, to this time that we're in. So, because this is more of a political channel, I'm going to skew this, and I'm like, pew this into the politics side of it. So, the 3 cards, so I pulled 3 cards from Galactic Heritage, and I haven't used this deck in so long, my White Sage Tarot. I love this deck, and I go, why am I not using it? Well, part of the reason is because it's got plant medicine, it's got color medicine, it's got a lot of things that I don't know anything about, and I go, I probably need to learn more about it, and I just never did. Nonetheless, let's move on. The 3 cards, where are we in this particular energy? And throw some cards on this. Hit pause, bring your decks out, throw some cards on what did we just see last week? What was that? Because it was, can I say this on YouTube? A shitstorm. Boom. Okay, ramble. I was, when I was coming back from dealing with my sister's, she had a big health scare. And a couple of years ago, 2016-15. And from that health scare, that's when I started opening up and started receiving or acknowledging I need to tap into the higher source things, because this low level energy, it's going to kill me. So I had to tap into the higher energies of woo-woo. And this is one of my big leaps. And we were on an airplane, and the captain said, we're going to kind of hang out here for a little bit because there is, I can't remember the name of what they call these dust storms. And it looked like out of the movies of, what was that Egyptian movie, The Mummy? This huge dust storm. And I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing this thing. We felt it coming and coming and coming politically. And this dust storm hit, and it was just like I couldn't see anything but brown, and the airplane shaking like this. I'm like, what the hell? And then it went away. So it lasted for like, I don't know, 10 minutes? It was a long time ago, so I can't remember. But it was wild. And I feel like that's what just hit us. Boom, this dust storm. And I think, are we a little blind now? Are our eyes opening up? Do we see the whole picture? I don't know. Let's get into the card reading now. Did y'all get some cards? Well, while I was rambling about dust storms. So, where are we? What did we just experience? First card I pulled was the Eight of Swords. And I look at this card. The first time I looked at it, I go, transfer that to the Rider-Waite deck. And I go, that's a restriction card, yes? And yes, it is a self-imposed restriction. But is that what this card is saying? This card, to me, says there's a path through here. There's some challenges, but... And then I look at the blue ribbon around it, and I'm just using my intuitive senses with this. That blue ribbon around there goes, there's something really calm and peaceful in this time. Even though we are restricted, even though we feel like we don't know how to move forward or anything, there's something really calming about it. The next card I got, Queen of Cups. And I'm looking at that and I go, well, hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Having a cup of tea? Having a cup of tea? And then I went, well, you know what the Queen of Cups is. You know, those who have been following me for a while. Lotus. Hello, Lotus. Now, I don't think this is the POTUS, because I think she's just chillaxing in... I wonder if Psychic Duck's going to come visit her in that duck pond, in that calming water that she's in. And then we get the Six of Cups. And I look at this card and I go, okay, there are the cups. But they look like there is, the cups are flower petals. Anyway, the Six of Cups. Very calm, very peaceful, going back to an innocence. So that innocent word can take me to the files, and I go, ugh, very disturbing. But it's going back to a simpler time too. So our restrictions feel like they're allowing us to breathe in comfort, to breathe in the Queen of Cups energy, a higher energy that is calming and peaceful and bringing us back. It's probably we're gonna probably have to review some things that we're doing with the files, well, certainly we're gonna have to review the government opening up again, because they're gonna have the same thing in the next couple of months. We're gonna have this whole battle again. So, okay, let's look at what the Galactic Heritage says. Leaving home, and this is the Asani's card. So this is, the Asani's are, I'm not saying it right, Asani. This is not the Asani's of Jesus' time. Different. This is a cross between Humas and Zetas. And what this card says, leaving home, is that they eventually had to find their own spiritual path. And they had to walk into the future and leave the past behind. So this card is going back to the simpler time. The Galactic Heritage says you need to integrate the lessons that you learn and move forward into the future. And the next card that I got, again, was the spiritual sovereignty card. And this is a place of complete balance. How when one walks in integrity, and it's talking about them completing their unfinished business. And what is the unfinished business? Well, it's this restricted card. It's the files. It's the way that we are treating each other as human beings. And the third card that I got was Embrace Transition. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Yes. Embrace the transition. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be neat. It's going to be a little messy. It's going to be a little restrictive. But if we know that we have the Queen of Cups, and we know that we have a simpler time in the near future coming, hang in there. Okay, this is one more throw. I told you it's going to be short unless it gets long again. Let's look at how do we treat. I was, okay, squirrel moment. I was on a, I'm selling my guitar because my hands are all messed up. And it needs to be played. So this Facebook guy, he texts me and says, I'll give you this much for it. And I go, he didn't even say that. He just put a price. And I went, is that a bot? What is that? And so I went to his site to look at him, and there was this, in one of his friends, he's got a Trump thing in there. And I went, I'm not selling it to him. But that was his friend. Wasn't him. It was his friend. And so I'm thinking, Danny, how are you going to deal with people? Because I'm now kind of closed off with that. How are you going to deal with people, the Republicans, who are now saying, I think I listened to the wrong thing. I think I made a mistake. So a lot of, I was talking to my hillbilly brother, and he triggered me a little bit. And I'm like, breathe, Danny, breathe. Be that little sea otter drinking a cup of tea with your little crown on your head. And, but how are we going to treat them when they say, I was listening to the wrong people? And they're still throwing out little triggers like, I think I'm going to be an independent now. Well, you can be an independent, but you've got to stop, worshiping the far right news, because that's not it. And then they go, well, the far left. And I go, what's the far left? What does that mean? What is that? The far right is Fox, and they tell you lies. Well, not all lies. Well, almost $1 billion? What does that mean? Anyway, so there's things that they say that trigger us. And they may be true, and it makes, for me anyway, it makes me stop and think. And I need to have a better way to respond. So when they say, yeah, I'm not quite sure about those emails, and the Republicans go, well, I haven't read those emails. And I go, well, you don't have to read the emails. You could look at Access Hollywood tape. What about that? What about what he said on the Howard Stern show? Well, I don't listen to the Howard Stern show. Well, but you should listen to your candidate talk. And that's really hard because he is out there. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. How do we deal with Republicans? And so getting back from the ramble, I think it's really important to have talking points, and not a lot of them. 3 good ones. 3 good talking points. And say, what about when he goes into his beauty pageants looking at naked women? Is that okay? Grabbing women by is that okay? Just 3. Pick 3. And the problem is you got to go back and pick 3. I don't even want to look at it. All right, how do we deal with this? How do we deal with Republicans who are changing their tune? I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't believe in anything she says, which makes me not believe in anything she says, but when she says, I've been listening to the wrong stuff, I believe that. Okay, how do we deal with people who are switching? Ooh, 6 of Pentacles. So I might need to do the same spread on with another deck, because this deck is so new to me. 6 of Pentacles. This almost looks like the Judgment card or the Temperance. It's a balance card. It's a balance card. I mean, how do you deal? I mean, there's certain far right stuff that you just can't. I just can't agree with. They're if it's not about being inclusionary, is that a word? if it's not about giving people respect, all people, even then I can't go along with it. But it's about a balance. It's about bringing balance. It's about security and comfort. The Queen of Pentacles. Look at them elephants. And it is about family. It is about, when I said family, I have a MAGA relative, as we all do, who was talking about the heritage. What is your heritage? Oh, and the first time he said that, I went, what are you talking about? Now I know. I'm a little slow on the uptake. I'm kind of a hillbilly too. Okay. And just for the record, hillbillies can be some of the smartest people I know. Squirrel moment. I remember the first real hillbilly that I go, dang, you're a hillbilly. I mean, he was a hillbilly. He comes out to our property because we're going to build a well on our property when I lived in Missouri. And we were going to get this guy that comes out and it's gonna cost us, a whole bunch of money. And he goes, I'll find you water. Okay. He goes home, comes back, like 3 hours later. Hillbillies are slow moving. Probably the best way to be. He comes out and he's got 2 sticks. I'm like, what the hell? I'm looking at my brother, I'm going, what the hell you got going on here? And he does his divining rod things right there. Water, right there. Right there. So anyway. They're tapped into the energy of the earth. Probably because he walks so slow. Okay, moving on, Danny. Come on, please. Queen of Pentacles, how do we deal with this? It feels like there's a balance with family. And by family, I mean humanity. We have the 4 of Pentacles. This is loss. This is holding on to what is dear. And it's just not money. This is 4 of sand dollars. So the cool thing about sand dollars is when you break them open, little doves of peace come out. Beautiful. I should have a sand dollar up here. Maybe it's in my altar. Anyway, moving on. In the past, 7 of Wands, defending oneself. That's what I do. When I start talking to the people, the Republicans, it's like, let me defend myself. We need to blend together. We need to both give and receive, as hard as that is. And this is the ones that are going, I'm on the fence. I don't think this is right anymore. I've been listening to the wrong people. Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles. It's not going to be fast. It's going to be slow. It's going to be slow. And I'm already starting to hiccup here, so that usually means I am on the right-ish path. Potential near future, we do have a coming together. We do have a celebration. And when I look at this card, and when I said we will have a celebration, this is a celebration with no people. This is the potential. It's like we're not there yet at all. We need to bring the people into this tent. The internal position of the energy of how do we bring everybody under this same tent by giving and receiving. Cards don't lie. Where is it? It's hidden. Hi everybody. It's me, floating in the lotus pond. It's the Queen of Cups. The internal energy. We have the Ace of Wands. Wands, fire, new beginnings. And this fire is pink. I don't know what blossom this is. What's blooming. It's not there. It's not a fiery, hot passion. It's soft. All right, let's bring everybody into the tent. The hopes and fears are we get the Ten of Cups, that we get the completion, we get the democracy card. And it's not, I want to bring the Republicans over to the Democratic side. I want to bring the Republicans over to democracy. And the final outcome is the Two of Pentacles. They are still they're still juggling things. We are still juggling things. It's not us and them. We are still juggling. I am still juggling. How do I deal with these people? How do I, these people? Well, maybe when I stop saying these people, it'll be a little easier to bring them all in the same tent. Just saying. What? Psychic duck. He's quacking up at me. Okay. We have the Knight of Swords. This is some strategic moving forward. And I look at this, the Knight of Swords. He's got two swords. So he's moving forward as a cat moves. Little gingerly. Oh, and the cat is a little gingery cat. Okay, so there is going to be some harsh truth. There is going to be some legal stuff. There's going to be some... Get ready for the pounce. And then we have moving on, Six of Swords, moving on to a more violet. I look at the violet and I go, this is Saint Germain, the violet flame, transmutation, transfiguration. He was there, according to some, when the U.S. was creating their democracy. He was part of that whole signage and all that stuff, as well as our Native American brothers and sisters, the Seneca, I believe, and there was probably, I think there was it the, I'm going to mispronounce this, Shoshone? I have to go back and look at that. And I know I'm speaking out of turn. I get grief all the time about this. All I'm doing is saying it wasn't just, it just wasn't, a couple of white guys doing this. It was a whole community creating this democracy. And the Native American tribes were the foundation for democracy. And then you have the spiritual side with Saint Germain. So we got to get back to that. That's all I'm saying. We got to get back to that. All right, I've rambled too long. I'm just going to keep this here, and that's it. Hopefully I'll put another one up. So thank you guys for watching. 333. Okay. Peace and love.